What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Mike, we got a question today from Scott. It says, what are your top 5 hunting techniques? I'm assuming for whitetails. Top 5 hunting techniques. I mean, what we like to do, different things at different times. We like to use decoys. We like to call.
Yes.
We like to set our property up right.
Yes.
I don't know what else for techniques. I mean, that's how I look at it. Techniques. Let's just take the decoy part.
Yeah, we like to decoy. We specifically have stands though that we set that we can decoy out of.
It's true.
That's you talk to 10 people, you'll get 12 answers on hunting with decoys.
Yeah.
We've both had success doing it. Obviously, we failed doing it. That's one we like to call. We're more just grunt calls. Kind of have one away from bleeding and things like that a little bit over the years. We do both still like to use decoys at the right time, in the right spot, and that spot would be someplace where a deer has to expose itself to see where that decoy is, which also adds the calling has to come into play with that.
Yeah, those two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's a big. To me, that's basically one technique. You have to be able to do all that. I'm not so into blind calling anymore.
No, we kind of both did it for a while and don't do it anymore.
No.
Right? Or very, very sparingly. Maybe throw a call out, but...
Yeah, I mean, decoys, I'm not a doe decoy guy. I do not put does out.
Me neither.
Decoys in general, it's after the 20th of October as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Same as for our calling. Rattling, if you rattle, which we both do rattle.
Oh, yeah.
Again, though, the rattling, if you watched any of our earlier podcasts, we've got into that where the rattling has to be, again, a point where a buck has to come in to see where that's coming from.
100%.
You can't put just sit in an open field with no decoy and start rattling.
It's not going to be very productive. They'll come around the backside, but as soon as they don't see anything, they're gone.
They're going to be gone.
You
might not even see them.
Well, that's true. Majority of the time, they're 200 yards down there wind checking.
Yeah.
But, rattling in general, to me, I'll be honest, rattling in general, you've got like a week and a half.
There's a small window there.
Yeah.
That's that early rut.
Yeah.
That aggressive stage. One of my favorite times. It's one of your favorite times to hunt. I love it when the bucks are aggressive.
We actually shoot most of our deer, our bucks.
I guess you could call that a technique. I don't know. I love to hunt that part of the year. That's when I really,
Yep.
We like to decoy. We like to call. We hunt fronts. I guess you could call that a technique. That's a huge thing that we do.
Yeah, technique-wise for weather fronts, you really have to become a weatherman for the fall. That's how I look at it. I mean, we watch a lot of weather on the ground. We're constantly in communication with each other. I mean, realistically, we live 1 hour apart and in 2 different parts of the state. And what could be happening here at Mike's place could be totally different than down at my place.
Yeah, for sure.
And, we'll hunt that movement based off of whatever. It'd be like, dude, you got to get over here now.
Yeah.
So, and then, for instance, I remember one time we had gotten back from North Dakota and Mike went out and he ended up shooting one of our target deer.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you got to get up here now. And I came up there that night. They were all over the place. We're down by my place, there wasn't anything moving.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, Techniques. Barometric pressure, we're both big on barometric pressure. We like to see that 30.
30 is a big number and rising.
Yeah, a rising barometric pressure is big. Obviously, weather fronts again right there.
Hot or cold.
That's true.
People think it's always got to be cold front, but deer move on fronts.
Yes.
Hot or cold.
Yep.
Day or night. The front can come. The biggest thing, we've talked about fronts a lot, and people are always interested in it. People want to hunt a front. You got to hunt it on the right time. When the front comes through, you're not going running out there and sit there. You already missed it.
Yeah, I think the big example I used on one of the podcasts, I don't remember which one it was, but it's like, let's just say your big change is at 9 p.m. Well, that means you should have been hunting the front side of that, so that's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yep, that's when the changes is going.
Because if you go out at 6 a.m., that's 9 hours later. It's done. Doesn't matter.
They've moved and been done. You know, if you driving to work, stuff like that, when you see the deer, you can see the deer move.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's going on. If you're a tuned in bow hunter,
oh yeah,
you know what's going on.
Yeah.
The other day, wife's like, the deer are really moving the other day. I said, yeah, I'm aware. I said, you do know that all that rain's coming in this afternoon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, so they're up on their feet and they're feeding.
Well, I knew that yesterday when I was heading down to the land.
Yeah, you saw it.
I'm heading down to my land, and here it's midday, and there's deer all over the fields, and I'm like, that front's close. Yeah. And of course, it started raining when I was there.
A little too close.
Is what it is.
Right.
I mean, that's our biggest technique, and I'll be honest with you. I think my biggest technique, and Mike's also, is our ability to use weather fronts.
Yeah.
And I think any hunter nowadays is going to tell you that. I mean, there's enough education out there for you guys, whether you get it from us or somebody else, about how to hunt weather fronts. It's really important. If you're new to bow hunting, you need to educate yourself on the weather and how it affects deer movement. That's a huge one. If you're referring to like techniques like, decoys and calling to me, I used to call whenever I would see deer. I might hit one with a grunt every now and then if it's early just to see, but the majority of the time they're not interested. They're still in their feeding patterns early. I guess that's the other thing technique-wise too, is you need to learn where to hunt and when.
That goes into another thing too, is entrances and exits to and from stands.
Yeah.
Morning stands and night stands, that could all be a technique if you consider it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, you go back to the decoys, how do you position your decoy? Do you know how to do it?
That's important.
I watch the people that are on TV have their decoys positioned wrong, and my wife even sees it now. She's like, look at the way he has that decoy pointed. Yeah, I see it. It's interesting.
It's interesting. How's that going to work out for us?
It's probably not going to work real good,
Oh, I don't know how many times I've seen people with decoys pointed straight away from them.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And then if you're pointed that way and that's your wind directions, you're already hunting it the wrong way anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's
another thing to learn. And deer aren't going to stand there with their back to the wind.
No.
That's one thing you remember, that when you're placing the decoy, if that helps you at all.
That's a big one.
Because a buck that is going to come to a decoy is going to circle that decoy, and he is going to get in front of the head.
Yep.
And he's going to come in. So you want that thing angled so that you can make a shot, and most likely before it gets to the decoy.
100%.
So once it gets to the decoy, it's going to be too late. It's either going to bolt from it,
yep,
or it's going to ram it down and then take off.
That's a fact.
So,
I don't know, we've seen a lot on the decoy thing.
Yeah.
Rattling wise, I'll rattle at a deer if I see a deer. Very seldom anymore do I blind rattle. I will every now and then, depending on my location.
Correct.
The whole idea, like Mike said earlier, is to you want these bucks to be searching for you. You want to be the reason they're coming. The hard part about these whitetail is, for some reason, they're very good at sound location.
You call once when you see a deer. Say that deer's at 100 yards, 150 yards, and it's a fairly calm wind.
Yeah.
You grunt at that deer once, he knows where you are.
Oh yeah.
Don't continue to blow your grunt call like it's a kazoo.
Maybe you didn't hear me.
Yeah. Maybe you didn't. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
They're going to come if they want to come at that point. They already have the attention.
Yeah.
And especially if they walk off, don't keep calling.
Yeah.
They're most likely circling you at that point.
That's true. Here's one of the techniques that you'll hear out there that we are not a big fan of. Deer sense.
Don't like it.
Don't like it. Don't do it. Won't do it. I spend way too much time trying to be scent free.
Yep. We can lead that into another thing that we do a lot of, that I think we've gotten really big into, is the mock scrapes.
100%.
We did We moved a few today on my property and put 3 more in. And do not put scent on the scrape that you make on the ground if you're going to make one in it.
Right.
Or on the vine that you're hanging. They will do that themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's another technique. I mean, we like to hunt scrapes.
Yeah.
You can watch a lot of people that do it. Sturgis is a big one for it.
Oh yeah.
Putting in mock scrapes. Don't put 100 of them in.
No.
Make them use them, and that's another good thing when you start watching our midweek stuff that we have coming out here on Wednesdays.
Right.
We cleaned a lot of brush up to make them use our mock scrapes.
We created a east-west line of movement today on Mike's property that is all along the 7-acre tree line that he's got here behind his place. And basically, easy in, easy out for us. And the ability to get bucks to transition on this east-west movement. Whether we shoot them in the woods or on the tree line before the food plot, doesn't really matter to us. But we'd be able to see both directions, north and south. So
those are things we like to do.
Yeah, and that's a big one. You're going to see us talk about this a lot this year. You're going to see it on the Wednesday shows, like Mike was saying. We're going to be showing you guys, small land prep, all the stuff we do, so we can at least try and take a good whitetail every year.
For sure. Today, real good example. I'm up in the stand. Carl's trimming trees, trimming branches as I'm up above. Phil's helping us, and we have a trail that comes out, 8-10 yards from the stand to the left, which is coming out to a mock scrape that we put up, and we dropped a few big branches off and blocked one of the paths of that trail coming out. So we forced them to use just the one coming out, and they'll do it.
Oh yeah.
And they don't care. And now when they do that, when they come out, it's already over.
Yeah.
If you want that animal at that point.
Yeah. So basically, we're creating line of movement for the deer, and I guess I don't want to say that's a technique we designed, but I mean it's basically getting deer to move where you want them to move.
And we talk about it all the time, Carl. We talk about the structure that we put in trees, corn, how we do our plots.
Yep.
Doing that. That's a technique, and that's things we use, and it's things that have made us successful.
Yep.
And a lot of people successful. I'd like to say we invented it.
Yeah, but we didn't.
We didn't. We got to go to work tomorrow morning.
Just like everybody else.
Too. So, but yeah, that's anything. Any technique I think that can make you successful.
Yeah. I mean,
it's gonna be good.
Those are the big things that we use.
Yeah.
Weather fronts, line of movement. So basically, us setting up the line of movement for deer. Calling, decoys. And we really like the barometric pressure adjustments. We are not moon phase guys.
No,
you will not hear us talk about moon phase. I think that is all BS. Maybe not BS, but it's not something I really like.
Correct.
So,
okay.
Nope. That's probably we'll find this one up there, Mike. I think that pretty much covers how we see things. But we appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you listening. If you get a chance, subscribe to the channel here at Rush Outdoors Wisconsin. Like I said, we'll be bringing you guys all the land improvements and stuff on Wednesdays. We'll put those out. You guys be able to check them out here at the show, right here at the channel, Rush Outdoors Wisconsin. If you want to listen to podcasts, if you don't see the videos, be sure to listen at rss.com under The Obsession, Spotify under The Obsession, or Google Podcasts under The Obsession. We appreciate you guys listening.
Thanks for tuning in.